Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
And today we taking it to the Bay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We're gonna visit a mixtape, a debut mixtape from a young lady by the name of Kamaiyah. Kamaiyah released A Good Night in the Ghetto in 2016. She is distributed through 400 Entertainment, which is YG, YG's label. And I first started listening to Kamaiyah around that time. I want to say 2015. I got introduced to her music, and I was listening to this mixtape a lot. I remember telling James about it. James is our DJ friend. So anytime somebody would drop that I feel like I know about before James, I'll be like, yo, you need to listen to Kamaiyah. So like, How Does It Feel was her debut single. And I remember I sent it to him, and I was like, yo, this is fucking fire. He was like, yo, it is. And around that time, we had just a slew of different new upcoming artists. Like Dej Loaf was around that time. Dej came out with, Try Me around that time. But Kamaiyah was just something about her sound that I really liked, because it was reminiscent of like the Cash Money days for me. Cash Money, No Limit, not necessarily Mia X, because Mia X was more lyrical, and Kamaiyah is more like a feel. It's like it just flows with the beat, right, the production, everything. But I've always really liked this mixtape, and so when the opportunity came for us to actually talk about it, I jumped at it. So what did you think about it?
At first, like, I didn't want to like this album. When you picked it out, it was like, I rolled my eyes like, oh god, here goes another one of like Regg's pet projects of a episode that we're gonna do. But I vividly remember like you were like really like behind her when in 2015. So I was just like, all right, let me listen to this project, and I from the start to finish, like, I enjoyed it. I actually understood like what she was doing with the project. It was pretty much talking about like a night out there in the Bay. Yeah. And it was just like good vibes, and like I could tell like a lot of her influences come from like Missy, from the Brat, from Mia X, from Gangsta Boo. Obviously, Bay Area legends like Too Short, E40, Mac Dre. She just gave me like those vibes, and like she is the anthem queen. Yeah. Like, she's very, very good at anthems, and I was like very curious. So I'm not sure, and I purposely didn't research it, but does she like collaborate with Mustard a lot?
Outside of a few songs, I don't think she does.
I don't understand how like Mustard doesn't use her like more for like her hook. Like Mustard, Hitmaker, like, she's very, very like good at hooks and like understanding certain things. And listening to this album, this mixtape. Well, shit, mixtapes ain't mixtapes no more. Listening to this album project, I was just like, yo, like I fuck with it and I get it. It's like she's not as lyrical as Rhapsody. She's not as sexy as Megan or Cardi. And she doesn't have like the charisma that like a Nicki or a Doja Cat might have. Right. But what she does have is the hood, like where she's from, and it's like a regional thing that she like.
And gets. They fucking love her.
Yeah, and I really think that like if we went out to the Bay, like they would probably like look at us weird for like not knowing her music, like, And I just think like, damn, like, it sucks that it's a blessing and a curse, because it's like obviously like she making her music for like where she's from, and you can tell like she's highly influenced by that. But it also sucks that like radio, or like just not even radio, like just how like sometimes like certain genres can like just get stuck where it's at, and like a couple people like if you know, but I was listening to it like, damn, like why isn't she like a bigger artist? Because I feel like a lot of women would get behind like a lot of the anthems that she makes. Like a lot of the songs on here, I'm like, these are a lot of sentiments that like women make all the time.
Yeah,
but it's just that like I don't know like if she doesn't want to be pushed or like like she's cool like where she's at, and like every artist don't gotta be these world renowned big artists, but I'm just always curious about that. Like what is it that like what does it take to get this artist to the next level?
I think they have been trying with her, because like I didn't realize back then how green she was, like how new she was, and I just listening because I just so happened to catch her at the beginning of her career, like so. I was listening, and then just from here, literally from hearing "How Does It Feel," which is her first single, to hearing where she is now. She just released a deluxe from her last, from I think her third or fourth project the other day. But I've been listening to all her projects since. But like, I think they are trying. It's just that she doesn't have the typical image, the image that sells. And well, right now,
with cross colors.
Yeah. So like she's a heavier set woman. She doesn't look like Meg or look like Cardi or look like all these, like she's not in that field, But she holds her own with the guys. She's like this hook person. I think they need to hone in on that, and she'll be fine. I think right now she has the consistency. Like her projects are consistently good. It's just that she doesn't have the overall appeal of those other artists, but I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll come. I mean, like I like it when her and YG works together. Absolutely.
Yeah, same.
I think, and then you know what? Her and G-Eazy have a record together. But I think that
G-Eazy shouted her out on one of his biggest records.
Yeah,
that joint with It Ain't Safe.
Yeah,
he shouted her out on that.
Because like I'm saying, like and G-Eazy, like he's from the Bay Area, but like he like makes sure he pays homage and acknowledges like the people that came before him. Like obviously he's a white man in a black space.
I was just about to say he has to.
So but I just think that like she gives me like. She's not as talented as Missy Elliott, but I'm just saying that, like, as far as, like, body images and stuff like that, like, so I'm just wondering what it's going to take for her to break through. Like, with Missy was incredibly talented. So, like, there was no denying it. Like, you couldn't keep shutting doors on Missy. So, I just wonder with Kamaiyah, like, she'll probably have to, like, it probably will take one collab with, like, Megan, who I absolutely think, like, Megan can step into Kamaiyah's world and, like, kill it and, like, make it bigger. Something like that, like with like I think like she can go to the next level. Even like Doja Cat, because like Doja Cat is really versatile, and I think can step into different sounds. And she's from the West Coast, so I know that she's familiar with that sound.
And she bald now, so you never know. I don't know what's gonna happen with her. You never know.
But yeah, like and this album got really good ratings too. Like it didn't get anything like below like an 8 as far as out of 10 like with the ratings. So. Be curious to see what our ratings will be at the end of this.
Yes. So that gets us into I'm On. I'm On is produced by Drew Banger. How'd you feel about it?
This is perfect because if you don't know anything about her, like she kind of like tells you like where she came from. Like it's the opening of to like her. Like she's telling you like pretty much just laying down all the groundwork, telling you like what's going on. And if I'm listening to this project, like I'm like, all right, she's taking me step by step, getting me prepared like for what's going on in her life, and now she's like, all right, now we'll get into getting ready to have like a good night in the ghetto out here in my hood.
Remember when I didn't have cash for rent? Like she's so like she says like these really heavy things, but like makes melodies out of them. Yeah, it's so cool to me. That's what captured me about her. Yeah. In the beginning, and this beat is crazy. Yeah, it's a sample from somewhere, right?
It is a sample, yes. Did I? No.
It sounds like It sounds like Who Do You Love?
No, I'm sorry. Yes, it's Trackmaster's beat by Trackmaster's the Who Do You Love yes song for LL Cool J with Total. Right. And that's a sample. That's a soul sample. From another group in the 70s. I don't know who they are. I'm pretty sure you can find it right now if you look. But I'll continue to talk. So I'm hearing that shit and I'm just like, yo, like how like this is such like an infectious.
So it's Who Do You Love by Bernard Wright.
Bernard Wright. Okay, there you go. So like it's infectious, and like the way to start it off, like that was perfect. Like the way how they did that. Yeah. So the track masters took that and flipped it, and then she took it and flipped it, and I actually like a little. No, I still like Trackmasters beat better. I was about to say some blasphemous shit, but I like how she used that for the opening.
I do too. I think the placement was perfect. That takes us into Out the Bottle. Sorry, featuring ZM, and it's produced by CT Beats. This shit is hard.
Yeah, it's hard, and like, I definitely get it. She talking about drinking a fucking 40 out the bottle, getting ready for the night, pre-gaming. You know, she's in the crib, getting dressed, getting ready, you know, drinking, you know, trying to get ready for the vibes for the night.
It's just so, it's so fucking catchy. How much I drunk last night, shit, I can't recall. Like, it's just like, everything that she said, it's like on some Nelly shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like how Nelly would rap.
She gets it. I just think, it just sucks that certain artists just come out at the wrong time. But maybe that's a good thing because it's like, you know, it kind of gives you that nostalgic feel. So like, you know, some people be like, oh, they don't make music like the 90s no more. No, the artists that you hearing on the radio, but there's an artist, here you go, Kamaiyah right here.
Yeah, Kamaiyah will give you that feel, man.
I don't think, I will be really, really surprised if I play this for someone and they say they don't like it.
Yeah.
Or it's not good because it's just like, how? Like, this is very catchy, very easy to listen to, very easy to get through.
It's in that vein, it's fucking perfect, man. It's just a fun album. That's followed by Hoochie Hotline Interlude, which is just a quick, you know, snippet. But then,
so I want to talk about that. So she has this album has some of the best interludes that I've heard in a long time. Interludes is a very lost art, and I think that she fully gets it. And I love the phone call interludes. Like a lot of like Mace, Cameron, Jay-Z did it back in the day. Puff did it. Like I always enjoyed that. Like Master P also did it, right? So I like how she incorporated it into the album, and like, you know, she's acknowledging like, yeah, like we like, you know, like I thought Hoochie like died, but apparently on the West Coast, being a Hoochie is still like a thing. So I just thought that was really
it's
cool.
always been a funny word.
Yeah, it's a funny ass word when you hear it. So I'm just like, oh shit, all right, cool, like Hoochie, like that's the word. And you know, I enjoy every single one of them. I don't skip them. I listen to them going because it sets up the next track for each one because it's the same beat and it just flows right into it.
And this one flows right into Niggas. It's produced by CT Beats. She just going off about her team, like her roster. Yeah. Niggas that she got on some girls shit.
I don't understand it. I don't understand how she's not like bigger with the females. And excuse me to the women who don't like to be called females. I was just saying, you know. But like she's not bigger like with a lot of women, and it doesn't make sense to me because like this is something like, all right, we got a homegirl. Her name is Illy. Shout out to Illy. All Illy talks about is her niggas and her roster of men that she has all the time. If you follow her Twitter at is Flawless Diamonds.
Yeah, I think it's Flawed.
Flawed Diamond on Twitter. All she talks about is how many niggas she got. The next nigga stand up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool. So it's just like when I think about her and I'm like, I know Illy won't be mad if I talk about it. It's just like this is literally word for word, bar for bar, how Illy constantly brags about how she always got somebody lined up next. So I just find
the chorus funny. Of this song is literally, I got niggas, I got niggas, I got niggas. That's the hook.
Yeah. Like it's just one of those things, and I'm like, damn, like there's so many girls that like use like this lingo and persona. So I just don't know. I don't know why Kamaiyah is not a bigger artist. Yeah. And this is like the equivalent to the Bill Burr joke, right? Like people are always saying like how like women in sports like don't make the equivalent to men in sports, so like they don't get the attention. Y'all need to start buying these albums and going to these girls' concerts and buying their merch to make them bigger artists. It's not stop putting this shit on men because this music's not for us.
Yeah, because y'all be liking the niggas that we like to impress us. Like girls be saying that they fuck with Griselda and shit, and it's like that's cool, but yeah, I mean Kamaiyah right there.
Go fuck with Kamaiyah, man. She's fucking dope.
She's cool, man. But Fuck It Up features YG. This beat is crazy. I think their chemistry is really underrated. I think what's the song that they got with Drake? Remember that song?
Oh, I know you talking.
I'm the nigga. Yeah. And she's on the hook to that. Yeah, and they killed that together.
Yo, that's an amazing track, and like they give me Ice Cube and Yo-Yo vibes.
Yes. Ooh, 10 for 10 today with the references.
Yeah, man.
I think what Kamaiyah does that's so cool is that like she can hold her own with these guys. You're not looking at her for the lyrical content. You're just looking at her to complement the song, and that's what she does throughout this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think YG understands her unlike any other artist does.
Right.
And I would love to read about how he even discovered her. Or
absolutely, especially because she's like up north,
like,
in the Bay,
so I don't even know. I don't know how he came across her. What propelled him to like be like, "Yo, you about to take off?" I don't know what it is, but YG also like he kind of has like an interesting legacy too, right? Because it's not that he even has a bad album. People know who YG is. I don't think people expected him to be around for as long as he's been around either. Because My Crazy Life came out in 2013?
Mm-hmm.
I know it came out after Good Kid, and Good Kid was 2012. And it was this concept album that niggas did not expect it to be. And then he came out with Still Brazy, Stay Dangerous. Like, he's just been out, and he's been finding his way in fashion. And
the hard bottom king.
Yeah. But then he be doing some weird shit, too. Like, he did that video with Tyga where they, like, dressed up like white chicks. Yeah, but the song was okay. But it's just like, bro.
I'm cool with it. I just, you don't know what? I think YG is no different than Tyler Creator, just that YG kills people. Like
allegedly,
yeah. In his music, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I just feel like, he's a gangbanger and shit like that. So we kind of expect him not to have like a eclectic or goofy side, but like we can tell by like his fashion sense and shit like that. Like we thought that was for the album rollout, but like this man has stuck to like the cowboy boots and hard bottoms, and it's funny because it's like we see Kendrick now wearing the cowboy boots, and it's like fuck out of here, Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Like YG been on the cowboy boots,
YG been doing that,
kicking up
right.
dust.
Yeah, YG had throw some cargo shorts on with some hard bottom shoes
and white socks.
Yeah, and socks pulled all the way to his fucking knees.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like I love it. I love it. With a blade leather jacket.
He has that fucking. He has that freedom, and he has dope merch too.
Yeah, he does.
"Break You Down" is the next song on here. It's produced by CT Beats. How you feel about it?
I just picture Kamaiyah like slipping off her like baggy cross-colored jeans.
You know what's crazy? That's probably why a lot of women or people can't take us serious, because it's like when you listen to her, she's a tomboy, and it's like her demeanor and her swag is so like boisterous and so I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. But
she like the brat.
Yeah,
the brat first came out,
but you're right. It is in a lot of ways like the brat, because it's like the way she comes across is like when you listen to her lyrics, you almost expect her to rap about men. I mean, about women.
Yeah, like
but she's talking about.
She clearly likes men. She
don't,
she don't want shit to do with women.
Yeah, she's talking about guys. So like hearing something like this is still super dope, super swag, and that beat is amazing.
Yeah.
So that takes us into the Hoochie Hotline and the Lude too.
Good. I would say good lead into Comeback.
Yeah. So and then that goes straight into the transition is straight into Comeback.
Right. Yeah. This is like some typical hood shit. You get into a fight, with your significant other and everything like that, but you ain't expecting them to really fucking leave. Like you like, yo, come back here. And I just expect the dude that she's dating to look like Ice Pick from Don't Be a Menace While You're Drinking Your Juice in the Hood.
Oh yeah. She does.
Like he got like the dookie braids or whatever like that to the
side. And they have a super toxic.
Yeah, they got that super toxic relationship, and then like they always like wound up back together and shit, and they probably commit robberies.
Like they just get each other. That's just them.
Yeah, that's just them. Like they be having like drag out fights, but don't get in their business. Yeah.
That's followed up with How Does It Feel, which was her lead single, her debut single. I really like this song back then a lot. Pitchfork.
I remember this song. This was like my only, besides that song with Drake and YG and like a couple of her features. This was like the only song that I had like a recognition, because I listened to it because you kept talking about her. But I'm glad that I took this long to listen to it, because now I get to hear a lot of her music for the first time, and it's kind of like refreshing.
Yeah. This was really dope. This was named as one of Pitchfork's best songs of 2015 that year. And 2015 was a big year, so that was a big deal for her. But it's just a feel like the rest of this album. It's just a feel good song. She loves talking about her inner circle a lot. She talks about the people that she came up with a lot, and I think she holds that very, very near and dear. That she's still around the same people that she had before in her circle.
Anthems are a lost art in music now.
Yeah, and it's just full of anthems.
You want to know what's funny? Remember when Khaled used to make anthems?
Who? Khaled?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he kind of still does. They're not. He works with the same. I guess for the last 2 albums he hasn't, but like before it used to be the same rotation of people: Lil Wayne, fucking Rick Ross, T.I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he stopped. Like there's a point like where he stopped, and I think like where he had like one hit produced. Like I think it might have been like the Rihanna song or like I'm on one. Like it was one of those songs that he had, and then like
once he saw that, he was like, all right,
I don't gotta do these huge like collaboration songs and everything like that. Like he kind of like changed. Like what he was doing was normal of what DJs would do. They would have a track and they would ask for verses, and then they would put the verses together. And then he was just like, no, I'm going to get like with one artist or whatever like that. And I think Drake might have been like the catalyst for that.
Yeah.
Like where he was just like, yo, I don't need like a whole team of artists to like want to like fuck with this song I got. Like Drake is so big, Drake is enough. Mm-hmm. And it worked. I don't like that he does. Well, we'll talk about that later. I kind of want Khaled to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Just period. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so How Does It Feel was a big song for her. Mm-hmm. And it kind of led the way and kind of opened the doors for her. Mm-hmm. It brings us into More Money, More Problems, which is produced by WTF Nonstop. This is a great song. Excellent the feel song. Of this.
I wish this song was pushed as a single.
Yeah, she released a really fun video for this back then too. This also has a notable sample. I could look that up. Yes, Only Human from Jeffrey Osborne, which was released in 1990. It's that whole dun, 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 like that whole part. That's the sample. Okay. But this was a big song for her, and I think it could have been bigger. It should have been bigger, but it was a really good song.
Okay, so next we got this is the final
Hoochie Hotline?
Yeah.
Yep. Part 3, the
final one. Yeah, man, she killed it with these interludes. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah.
And it kind of just leads right into Ain't Going Home.
Right. So
with produced by Link Up.
Ain't Going Home like makes me think about House Party, the Kid and Play movies. Mm-hmm. I really think that like what she was doing with that, like she was killing that shit. Like this shit is fucking amazing. Like this song like just makes me think of that shit. Makes me think of like Robin Harris like possibly like walking in to like beat one of his kids' ass or some shit. Like
yeah, right. Rest in peace, Robin Harris. But yeah, no, this is in the vein of like House Party and shit. It's like I think this whole mixtape is kind of in the vein of House Party, even with the interludes. It's and I think that's the fun part of it, where it's like, yo, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. This also has a sample from Earth, Wind and Fire on it. That like doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
Doom okay. Doom doom. Yeah, it's Let's Groove. Yeah. So this is a very notable song for me. I think it's kind of like the culmination of all 3 of the interludes kind of was leading to this. And then that leads us into Swing My Way. Swing My Way is produced by One Oak.
She raps to her niggas with guns to their heads. Like, hey, we go together. Like for real, like that shit. Like what Young Miami did with Puff, and Real Bad.
Real bad.
She like, nigga, we go together, and if you break my heart, I'm gonna kill you.
Pretty much, and it's like, yo, you got it, ma. What did he say to that? He was like, yeah, it's whatever you want.
Yeah, he was like, she was like, we go together. He was like, we go together. She was like, real bad.
Oh man, is that show even still going?
Yeah, it's still going. She had Kevin Gates on her show, and he scared her to fucking half to death. I think Kevin Gates was talking about eating her ass right then and there, like
talking about her.
Yeah, he was like, oh no, he said, she was like, what would you do if I cheated on you? He was like, did you record it? And she was like, I mean, he was like, you gotta record it and show me. Like, I want to watch that shit. I want to see how a nigga fuck you so I can fuck you better. And like, she was so scared. Like, she was like, excuse me.
Yo, I gotta watch that. Kevin Gates is a fucking character, yo.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So Swing My Way is some like gangsta anthem type shit. All right. Mm-hmm. So Swing My Way is kind of like in that vein where like threatening your dude and knowing what you want, being too much, knowing your value, which is the theme of this album, right? Which is what she raps about a lot on it. And also like you brought up the Brat. I would love to see what she would have did with the Brat back then.
Absolutely. I don't know like what space the Brat is as far as making music, but
now
I would like to get some music from the Brat.
I don't think she's even for it right now. Right. But I would have loved to get some music from the Brat around with her. Mm-hmm. Freaky Freaks. It's produced by Trackademics. Yes. Freaky Freaks.
Yeah, so this like gives me MC Hammer Pumps and the Bumps vibes. And she shouts out MC Hammer on the track. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people might not know, but like, you know, the image that we had of MC Hammer is that like he's just like this like God-fearing church guy from the Bay that like wears big pants or Speedos. But he's a fucking thug and very well respected out there in the Bay.
Pumps and the Bumps is actually what changed his image.
Yeah,
that's what had people be like, oh, this nigga
he did that, and then like that was when like he started like wearing like the football jerseys and like the cargo pants and the boots and shit like that. Because like he just blew up so fast. He was like, I'm just trying to like pay my bill. Like he did a lot of shit that artists do now.
Yeah.
He had a deal with KFC. They like made jokes about him selling chicken.
He was a fucking blueprint for entrepreneurship, man.
Yeah,
he
did everything. Like he took all of his people on tour. Like there was a lot of shit that he did early on, like that was like very, very like big and like people like I think it was jealousy. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of people didn't realize that. Like Jay-Z talked about it in his book Decoded, where like, you know, he was doing something on such like a high scale, it was like unheard of. So he was like, oh, this dude's selling out, he's doing this. But like think about it now, like there's not a rapper that would not do the things that he was doing. It's just that he was the first.
Yeah.
So he was like the sacrificial lamb, like having those relationships, and then like, you know, he was a handsome dude. He was he knew how to speak in front of white people because when he was a kid, he was a bad boy for the Oakland A's. Mm-hmm. And I think that like MC Hammer understood how to move in mainstream America. And that kind of like made a lot of like artists like feel like, oh, he not real, he not this. And then like they found out behind the scenes, like MC Search. And there were other rappers that like he had beef with that like he was like trying to like get killed and shit like that. Like he was very much like, he was very much on that like, yo, I will get you hurt shit, right? And then like he was able to be around Suge Knight and Tupac and like them niggas like fully respected him. Mm-hmm. Like there was no like, yo, come here, bitch, and none of that shit. Like MC Hammer was very well respected and fucking with them dudes. It's just that like so much shit was going on at that time, it just didn't work out. But like, I just wanted to make sure I put that in here that like MC Hammer is not to be played with. Like Big Boy and Andre said on that VH1 like little thing that they did, Hammer whoop your ass.
Oh yeah, Hammer don't play.
Yeah, he don't fucking play, man. They call him MC Hammer for a reason because he got that fucking gun. No, they call him Hammer because they used to call him because he looked like Hank Aaron when he was a kid, and Hank Aaron's nickname is the Hammer
because he got that fucking gun. But yeah, man, that nigga was the blueprint in a lot of ways. He had his own cartoon. He, you know,
everything. He had his own cereal. He had Mattel dolls. Like he was, yo. If you really think about it, like. Yo, a lot of artists right now would love to have their own Mattel dolls and shit like that. Bruh. Can you imagine like a fucking West Side Gun Mattel doll?
Right?
Boom, 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 boom.
That would actually be fucking cool as hell.
Hell yeah.
That'd be mad cool. I'll put that shit right here next to David Ruffin. But the album continues with One Love. Mm-hmm. It's produced by P-Lo. It features Big Money Gang and Netta Brio.
Yeah. So surprisingly, this is my favorite track on the album. Mm. And I didn't think like it's rare that like when you listen to albums and like once it gets towards the end you kind of like it dies down, but like actually the tempo stays up. Mm-hmm. And I listened to this while I was doing like my driving that I had to do. And Regg, you gotta learn how to drive and get a car because you gotta get the feels for like these projects that you really fuck with, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you like a lot of like Bay Area music, and a lot of this music is made for being in cars. And yo, when I tell you like driving, listening to some of this music, man, like especially this project right here in the car, and like I don't even got a crazy system. I drive a Ford EcoSport, guys, but I tell you, I be feeling like I'm in a fucking lowrider.
Nah, yeah, I can get that. I would imagine, because I mean, shit, when I'm in the passenger seat, I get that vibe.
Yeah, man. So I'm telling you, bro, like it's a great feeling. So
yeah, and then of course this album closes off with "For My Dog," which is a song, you know, dedicated to a friend of hers that she lost, Cocaine James, but who passed from cancer. It's a really sad song. It's not necessarily a song that's like for me. I can't listen to this song that much. I have different interpretations of a song like this, and they've been done a lot better when they're dedicated to someone.
I didn't think about it like that, but I did think it was dope that, like, you know, this kind of song you wouldn't anticipate to enjoy it or like nod your head to it, right? But you do, and it made me think of Master P's "I Miss My Homies."
Yeah.
Master P's "I Miss My," and then I was thinking about it, I was like, shit. Master P spent a lot of time out in the Bay when he moved out there with his mom, and he had his record store.
Yep.
And I was just like, damn, a lot of his sound, like, he has a lot of New Orleans bounce in his music, but he also kind of has like a lot of Bay Area like sound in his early music.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, like this is like a cool record. Like, and then typically when people talk about like missing like their homies, it's usually because they got killed or like they died or something like that. It's usually to gun violence, but like she's talking about like a subject like cancer.
Yeah.
And I think that was dope. And I wasn't mad at it being the closer, because it's like I think like it has like, I feel like anywhere else in the album it would kind of like ruin the mood.
Something
but,
like
this one, like it ends it, and it was a nice dedication to like her boy, and I thought that was dope, and I really enjoyed like what she did with that.
Something like this definitely needs to be the closer. It's a very heavy song. And it's kind of a triumph for her to be able to put a song dedicated out to her friend that she lost on her debut tape.
Yeah.
So it's something that she definitely had to do. But that brings us to the end of this project, man. 16 tracks. I think the album is no less than 40 minutes long. Kind of really just flows. Good Night in the Ghetto. What you think? What's your rating?
So I give this rating 4 out of 5 waffles. I give it 4 out of 5 waffles. I'll give you the good. The production is immaculate throughout the whole entire project. She definitely makes great hooks, and she gives you really good anthems. I love the interludes. She's not as lyrical as I would like, but that's not like that important. But I also feel like this. I know that this isn't her best project. I know that because like you said earlier, she was very green. So I feel that like, she probably has, on this project, you could tell like she has the talent. So I'm going to listen to more of her catalog now.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to find like better projects. And I know that you're like the opposite of me. You don't compare, like when you're doing albums, you just singularly rate it, but that's the only way my brain is wired.
Yeah.
So with me knowing that, I was like, yo, there's so much more room for her. I know that this is not her best effort.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, all right, I can give it 4 out of 5 waffles and like be okay with that. And like if we look at the ratings that she got from other publications, it's the same thing. That she got 9s out of 10s, 8.5s out of 10s.
Right.
So I think that like I'm kind of like spot on the money, and hopefully like Kamaiyah is cool with my rating too, because I know that she's a whole fucking thug.
Yeah. I don't want no problems with Kamaiyah.
Nope, not at
all. So also before I give my rating, just to go back a bit, this song For My Dog, the closer, is actually dedicated to 2 of her friends. One she lost to cancer, and the other one was murdered in Oakland in the summer of 2015.
Wow. Okay.
So so just to put some clarification on that, but for my overall rating, I am comfortable giving it a 4. I think for this being such a new thing for her, for her being, like I said, so green and so new in the industry, she really trailblazed. Like, she really wasn't like grouped in and not compared to anybody else. I think she was on fire around this time too. I think the following year she was in a freshman 10. And I was looking forward to everything that she was doing because she had all the right looks. I think this project does a good job of highlighting the type of artist that she is. She's very hook heavy. She's very big on melodies. She's very big on the natural Bay Area sound. And in a lot of ways, you know, we even mentioned it without even knowing, you know, how this record kind of ties into a lot of intricacies that the Bay has given us. Like, you know, like with whether it's MC Hammer or sounds like E40 or even some of the samples on here. So I think, and that's not to say that it wasn't done on purpose, but it was done very subtly. So like when you do realize it, you appreciate it more. So yeah, I can give it a 4. A Good Night in the Ghetto, solid project. Shout out to Kamaiyah. I think you guys should check it out when you get the chance, and just delve into her music. And I think the Bay Area is doing some dope shit right now too.
I agree.
And I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
We out here.
These are their stories.
Dun dun.